One of the biggest ideas in Parenting Beyond Power is the idea of seeing resistance as a gift.
Mm.
And when we can see that our child's resistance is actually an expression of their need, then I think we can approach it in a very different way. And so parents often, when they see their child resisting, they will have a really big reaction themselves. And that may involve being flooded or triggered because of something they experienced in their childhood. And that's really important, because the reason that we feel triggered or flooded in these difficult moments is because we used to resist as well. When we were children, we resisted when our parents were trying to get us to do something that didn't meet our needs. And we dug our heels in. We said, no, that's not right for me. And our parents said, I don't care if that's right for you. They may have said it verbally. They may have said it non-verbally. They may have spanked us. Whatever they did, they communicated, I don't care what's right for you. You stuff your needs down in a box and pretend that they don't exist. And you're going to do what I say. And so when our child resists us, we have this moment of, yeah, I remember that meme on Instagram where it said it was so cool, but I would have been punished for doing that.
Yeah.
And so there's this huge explosion. I'm guessing you're resonating with that.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a complete disconnect where these two parts of yourself are warring internally.
Yeah. And so I think an important thing to realize is that's not our child's thing to navigate, right? Mm-hmm. Our child is doing this age appropriate thing, and we can work with them to find strategies that meet both of our needs. But first we have to take care of ourselves. We have to acknowledge that this is not how we wanted to be parented, right? We wanted somebody to take account our needs. We wanted somebody to hold us with the love and care that we're trying to hold our children with. And so we may find that therapy is helpful in processing that and understanding that and giving us the care and attention ourselves that we wish that we had when we were children. And once we're able to do that, we can create maybe a little bit of distance between the big thing that has set us off and our reaction to it. And there we can start to find the space to understand what's really my need in this situation. And so I often think of a parent who would ask her child over and over again, get dressed, no, get dressed, no. They're trying to get out of the house in the morning. The parents, I just need to make this happen. And why? So one day she asked, why are you having a hard time getting dressed in the morning? And the child says, I like to know that you are the last person to touch my clothes before I put them on in the morning. And so the child has a need for connection. The child isn't resisting for no reason. The child is resisting because they have this need for connection. And the parent's need is not really to get out the door. The parent's need is for ease and peace and calm in the mornings. And when the parent can see, oh yeah, I could give my kid's clothes a hug and help her get dressed, that the child's need for connection can be met. And the parents' needs for ease and calm and peace in the morning can be met. And maybe we can get past this idea, oh, my kid is 7, they should be able to dress themselves by now. Because then we're actually in a relationship where both of us are getting our needs met. And when we can do that, parenting just gets so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As I started to take a look at why is this happening? What is going on with you? That is when we can look at the problems and really say, okay, a conflict is usually a conflict of needs. Sometimes it's a conflict of values, but it usually is a conflict of needs. And there are lots of different ways to meet our needs. Like if we can get stuck off of the one solution, right? The one solution we have is you put on your clothes now and get out the door. That may be one solution to the problem, but it doesn't meet the child's needs, right? So we can look at, there are lots of different ways to meet the needs if we get under that.
And actually, if I could build on that, that's why I don't see actually a conflict of needs. I see the conflict of strategies that we have each chosen to meet our needs. Mm-hmm. And I often think of a time when I got fed up of unloading the dishwasher every day. I was like, why am I doing this? Why is this always my job? And I picked a fight with my husband about it. And we had this big row about it. And of course, my need is not for him to unload the dishwasher. My need is for collaboration in our relationship. And even though I know this stuff, I teach this stuff, sometimes I still fall back into the old habits and get attached to this strategy. Whereas when we can separate the strategy from what is the real need underlying what we're trying to do, I can go to my husband and say, you know what, I'm feeling really overwhelmed recently. And I wish that we could feel more on the same team than I do right now. Would you be willing to help me with that? And would he say yes to that? Yes, he would say yes to that. And then we can look at things like, could he take our daughter out more often so that I have time to work? Could he do more of the grocery shopping? Could he do more of the cooking, right? There's 100 ways that we could meet that need of mine to feel like we're on the same team. And 1 to 5 of those ways involves him doing something with a dishwasher.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's such a helpful way of doing it. It's thinking about it, because we do get so stuck on this issue, right? Like, instead, what do we really need? What do we really need? Is a brilliant question to ask each other.